What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video. Today, I want to grade the Colts 2023 draft class. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys got injured. Some of these guys were just part of the rotation. Some of these guys never played at all this season, didn't even make it to the regular season for the Colts. So I just want to go through, grade, each individual player. And this is going to be assuming they can stay healthy in the future and kind of what we saw from them this year and what I expect from them in the future. We're not going to sit here and say, oh, well, can't really grade Anthony Richardson because, he got hurt and he only got 4 games. Yeah, that stuff happens. We're still going to grade him on what we saw, the potential that's there, and how we saw him play in the NFL, right? We got some NFL tape. So when we're talking about Anthony Richardson, round one, pick four, the first pick for us in the 2023 draft, Anthony Richardson was the A-plus pick. Of course, because he got hurt, people aren't going to see it that way. But you got the future of the franchise. This is a guy, again, if he can stay healthy in the future, anything is going to be possible. Everything that he's already got, as young as he is, and to have the mindset that he does, the mentality that he does, and the maturity that he has, it's a different level. And he has the physical ability that he has, the ability to learn and retain information, and the ability to be coached. And I think that's going to be vitally important as he continues to learn how to be a leader, continues to learn how to be a better version of himself on the field and off the field. Those two go hand in hand. So again, Anthony Richardson, an A-plus pick. I think Julius Brents at round 2, pick 44. This is a pick that I'm going to give an A-minus. An A-minus is still really good, but it's not perfect, right? We saw some mistakes from Julius Brents. Obviously, we also know that he had a couple of injuries that took him out, especially at crucial times. So it's a little up and down, but as you look towards the future, assuming he's able to be on the field, like this is an A-minus pick right here. This is a guy that is great at tackling. At corner, you love to see a guy that is great at tackling, but he also is a guy that knows his ability and is very confident in his abilities, and he'll take some chances sometimes and he'll get burned over the top, or he'll get routed up and get somebody that gets the inside leverages is able to get inside of him and get away. So I think it was a really good pick. There's obviously some development that needs to happen, but he was really good in his rookie season. Again, just need him to be able to stay on the field just like Anthony Richardson. But then you move to round 3 where you get Josh Downs. Josh Downs, this is an A pick. Okay, and I think when you get Anthony Richardson back in the lineup and he's able to be there, I think that's when we're really going to see Josh Downs be able to be Josh Downs in this offense and what it's supposed to be, right? Josh Downs is a guy that can do a little bit of everything, but we saw when Anthony Richardson was in the games, he was able to get the downfield work to Josh Downs. He was able to get the downfield work to even Alec Pierce. But in this instance, we're grading Josh Downs. Josh Downs, I think, is going to be an absolute superstar in the NFL as long as Anthony Richardson is able to stay healthy. So for the first 3 picks, we're looking at A+, A-, and an A. Okay, smash the first part of this draft. And then you go to round 4. Blake Freeland. This is a guy that right now I think we're looking at about a C+ if I want to be nice, but I'm thinking a C, and we're really going to have to see how the development goes, right? Offensive lineman can go one of 2 ways, right? He could come in to his second season, being better physically, being better mentally, being better prepared, and being just an overall better football player going into his second year, or he can, stay the same or get worse, right? Is he going to put in the work to be that guy? For a 4th-round pick, you really don't know. So right now I'm going to go ahead and give it a C. This is something that could change in the future. Bernard Raymond got much better in his second season. That's something that I continue to reference when we talk about Blake Freeland. But I think it's just important to note, like, it is possible for a guy that's bad in his rookie year to get better in his second year. So we'll see what happens there. But again, right now, Blake Freeland gets a C. Then as we move on, 4 picks later in the 4th round is when we drafted Tommy Ade. And this is a guy that didn't play much throughout the season. He was part of that interior defensive line rotation, was able to get some more playing time when Grover Stewart was out, but really wasn't on the field a whole lot this season outside of special teams. So at the moment, this is one that's going to be a C- because there's still potential there. There's a lot of potential. He is an athletic freak. But right now, when you talk about the interior of the Colts defensive line, DeForest Buckner's there and Grover Stewart's there. We hope Grover Stewart comes back. So how impactful could Tamiade ever even be, right? Or maybe because they have Tamiade, maybe that's why they might let Grover Stewart walk. Tamiade stays, and does he, develop his body and continue to develop his game, and then come out next year next to DeForest Buckner and be an absolute beast? And that's really what we're going to be looking for. A lot of potential, but right now, just haven't been able to see it. So that's going to be a C minus pick. Darius Rush, that is obviously an F. He did not make it through training camp, not on the team. Daniel Scott is a guy that we weren't able to see this season. So right now I'm going to give that a D pick. That was round 5 pick, 158. Got injured, I believe, in training camp and ended up missing the entirety of the season. You have Will Mallory, round 5 pick, 162. This was the third of 4 picks in the 5th round. And Will Mallory, again, this is a guy that missed time throughout the season in different parts of the season. But as the year went on, he started to have a bigger role and he started to make more plays. Will Mallory could be a guy in the future, right? If he's able to stay on the field, he could be a major playmaker for the Colts next season, right? We thought it'd be Jelani Woods. Jelani Woods doesn't play the entire season. Thought it'd be Andrew Ogletree. Now he's got his situation. Who knows if he's ever even going to be on the Colts again? So going forward, you're looking at Will Mallory. There's a chance we draft somebody else. I would honestly kind of expect us to go into next year with Jelani Woods and Will Mallory probably being the starter in that tight end room because of what he was able to show this year, the athleticism that he has, the ability that he has when he has the ball in his hands. I think he could be really good going down the line. So go ahead, give me a B minus grade on Will Mallory going into the 2024 offseason, and we'll see if that grade is able to get better after this point. Then Evan Hull, this is another guy, missed pretty much the entire year, right? Had 2 snaps, ends up out with a knee injury for the rest of the season. We're going to get him back, and I think he can be a valuable number 2, right? So with everything that goes into it, this is another guy that's going to get a C minus just because there's a lot of potential there, but we just don't know yet. How is he going to bounce back from this injury? And when he does get in the lineup, how is he, is he going to find his role? Is he going to find a way to maximize the role that they decide to put him in, right? Because when you have JT could be a 3-down back if they need him to. So you need Evan Hull to be able to carve out a role for himself and to be effective in that role so that JT doesn't have to play, run the ball 30 times in a game and catch a couple passes, right? You want to give him a little bit of a breather, especially throughout the season. Maybe you lean on JT later in the season, but I think Evan Hull could be really good. But again, because of the injury, because of circumstances, going ahead, giving that one a C minus right now. Titus Leo, a guy we didn't see this season. We'll see what happens going forward, whether or not they even decide to keep him on the roster going forward. Right now, I'm going to give that one a D. Jalen Jones, round 7 pick, 221, though. This is a guy who played incredible. This was an A-plus pick. This is a guy played the entire season, man. He had to get called up. Once he got his number called and he stepped into the batter's box, he delivered time after time after time. Was one of the stickiest corners in the NFL this year, was one of the best corners. Didn't give up much in coverage at all. Jalen Jones was fantastic. Shout out to Chris Ballard and his guys. I wish I could remember the name of the guy that Chris Ballard gave credit to for Jalen Jones. He said that he had been bugging him about going and getting Jalen Jones, and that's what they end up doing in the 7th round, and it couldn't have worked out better. This is a guy that is clearly going to be a cornerstone kind of guy for the Colts, right? Julius Brent, Jalen Jones. These are the guys we hope to be leaning on. As long as they can stay on the field together going forward, we could have a really good secondary as they continue to develop and continue to learn this Gus Bradley defense, because they are staying in the defense, right? So what I think the hope is that the secondary can be better for the Gus Bradley defense, and then the defense, all in all, will be better and we'll be able to win games. Jalen Jones, a massive part of that. Again, A+ for Jalen Jones. Okay, then Jake Witt, the tackle, another guy, missed the entire season. This was the last pick for the Colts. This is depth at the tackle position, a guy that people liked coming into it, like the fact that we got him in the 7th round and he was able to be there, and then we got him as depth. But will he be useful in the future? How will he bounce back from his injury? This is one that I'm going to give a D also. So when you look at the entirety of the 2023 Colts draft class, what is the grade that we're really looking at here? And of course, this is tough. People are going to talk about the injuries. Have a lot of guys here who missed a lot of time due to injuries this season. A lot of guys who didn't play a lot of this season. So when you take that into account, but you also take into account what could be in the future as long as a lot of these guys are able to stay healthy, this is a draft that right now I'm going to give a B. And I think this could be a draft class that honestly, like you're talking about AR, Juju Brents, Josh Downs. If Blake Freeland ends up stepping in for Braden Smith, right? If something happens there and Blake Freeland's the guy for the future, then you have him. Those are your first 4 picks in this draft. Tamiade, if he's able to be what everyone was hoping he was, there's your first 5 picks in this draft. Then you have Darius Rush, whatever. Daniel Scott, we'll see what happens there. But then Will Mallory and Evan Hull could play massive parts and massive roles in this Shane Steichen offense in the future. Jalen Jones, going to be massive in the future. So all in all, really good draft. Again, a B, could go higher in the future. And I have a lot of hope for the 2023 draft class. I'd like to know what your opinion is on 2023 draft class. I'm going to start looking into the 2024 draft. There's about 100 days until the draft. So going to start preparing for that, seeing where we could go, start doing different mock drafts and coming up with different things. All right, there's going to be plenty to talk about. So, of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you get notified when any of these videos come out. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.